Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a Euro trance pad in Massive, and it sounds a little bit like this. Now if you like what you hear, you can continue watching. If not, there's tons of YouTube videos that show you how to make different types of pads. So let's get started. So we're going to go to File, New Sound. And over on Oscillator 1, we're going to keep this as is. All we're going to do is just change this to Filter 1. We're going to turn on Oscillator 2. And what I want to do is bring the intensity down to about 11 o'clock. The amp about 4 o'clock. And bring this over to Filter 1. And we're going to pitch this up an octave. On Oscillator 3, I'm going to turn it on. We are going to bring this down an octave. We don't want this to be a square wave. We want this to be, a saw wave. We want this to be a pure square. So we're going to bring this all the way down. And bring this to Filter 1 as well. And I'm going to show you how it sounds so far. So it's starting to sound a little bit like a pad, but it's a little grainy. So we're going to turn on our modulation oscillator. On our filter FM, we're going to turn on 1. Bring this pitch up to 12, so it'll be an octave. And bring the filter at about 4 or 5 o'clock. Now I'm going to come over to our effects tab, and this is where the attributes of the pad are really going to shine. And we're going to turn on our classic tube, bring down the dry and wet about 9 o'clock, and our drive to about 11. Turn on effect 2, and we're going to make this a reverb. Change the dry and wet to about 10 o'clock and our size to about 11. So it's going to sound a little bit like this. So it's getting there. Now I want to turn on my EQ. Turn down the high shelf and bring it to 9 o'clock. The frequency about 11, boost about 11, and the low shelf about 11. Alright, so it sounds a little weak still, so we're going to fix this by going to our voicing tab, bringing up our voicing. Instead of having just one voice, we're going to bring it up to 4. And over in this tab, I'm going to turn our pitch cutoff on. I'm going to bring this out over just a little bit, so it gives it a little bit of a chorusy effect, and this is how it sounds. And to spread this out around the stereo image, we're going to turn on our pan position. We're going to widen it and really brighten it up. We're going to bring this about 1/4 of the way to mono. Just right about there. And I'm going to play it back. And if you want to get really interesting and make this really Euro-ish, you can play around with the noise. If you turn up the amp, it's going to give it a lot more of a white noise feel that you hear a lot from a lot of trance synths. So it's going to sound like this. Turn it up a little bit more. So you can play around with that. If you want, turn on your filter and bring it to low pass, and you can play with the cutoff. there's really a lot you can do with this. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's how you make a, well, that's my version of a pad. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Um, if you have any suggestions for tutorials you want to see, let me know via email, Facebook, or through YouTube messaging. Thanks, guys.